Welcome back to Mastering MMA. I'm Coach Lee here with you. Today we're going to talk about the best submission to use in a fight. So, I personally am a big fan of triangles and leg locks. Those are probably my two highest percentage finishes that I go with. Triangles is the very first thing I got good at, and in the past few years I really dedicated myself to getting way better at leg locks, and they actually became one of my best submissions. I started catching people with them a lot. Also, we have the Kimura, Americana, any of the key locks. Those are very versatile. You can catch them just about anywhere. Your chokes, we've got guillotines, right? A lot of people love the guillotine, especially when they're trying to get, people are trying to take them down. That's a big thing. But there's a lot of debate I've heard, people talking about, well, this is definitely the best one, this is the best one. To be perfectly honest with you, the best one is whatever is available. I see so many people that get locked in on, well, I'm good at this specific submission, and they will hunt for it. And that's great in practice when you're trying to make a submission better. But when you're in an actual fight or in a grappling tournament or whatever it is, when things matter, right, the best one is the one that's available. And you should be constantly improving all your submissions, finding different ways to get to them. And that's not saying, if you're an armbar person, don't look for that armbar. Or if you're a triangle guy, don't look for the triangle. But if there's something there, you should be attacking it, right? Don't pass up a submission that's a high percentage at the moment because you're so focused on looking for the Kimura or the triangle or the guillotine or the Darce. I've seen so many fights where there's so many openings to end the fight, and they pass it up because they've got a submission that they're good at it, and so they focus so much on getting it, they pass up a lot of stuff that's easy open opportunities. And I'm not just talking about stuff I've seen on TV and stuff. I'm talking about guys I've trained with, or guys that I've seen hit other stuff and then they're so focused on it. But it's actually quite common for somebody to go out there and just search and search and search for whatever submission it is that they're good at. And it could even be gi, you're good at, cross collars or loop chokes or whatever. But the thing is even though you're good at it and you should look for it, if you see an opportunity to jump on that, go for it. But don't be so focused on getting that single submission that you pass up the other stuff that's there, right? And even if you don't get those other submissions, at least you're putting your opponent in danger, and you're putting them on the defensive. I attack a lot of submissions knowing that there's a low percentage chance I'm going to get it, but it puts them on the defense and starts making people move ways that they're not wanting to move, right? So instead of them being able to start setting up some offense, now they've got to move back from where they were heading to defend this, right? And if I keep attacking little stuff like that, eventually I'll find a hole where I'm going to find a triangle or a leg lock or a Kimura or a guillotine or whatever it is. That being said, if you see an opening to jump after whatever you're good at, by all means, go for it, right? I can't tell you how many times I've been in a position where I'm working for an armbar and I see the spot where I can change it into the triangle, and I go for it, right? Because I'm good at finishing triangles. I can put a lot of people out in a couple of seconds. From the time I lock it to the time they go to sleep, it's 8-10 seconds. So I know that's a thing for me, that if I get that, I feel my percentages are way up if I can lock that in. So I've been attacking an armbar, starting to work for it, and see the opening to change the triangle, and I change, right? That's not saying I'm passing up the armbar, right? If that opening wasn't there, I'm finishing that armbar, or I'm at least trying to finish it. But I know I'm better at triangles. So if I see that opening to transition from the armbar to the triangle, I'm hitting it. But if that opening isn't there, I'm not going to force it, right? If I'm on the arm, I've got a decent shot at finishing the arm, then I'm going to start attacking that. And if that opening shows up, great. If not, I'm going to keep attacking the arm. And I might do stuff to try to force them into making an error to open up the ability for me to go to a triangle. But if I get the chance to finish that armbar, I am on it. I am all over that, right? When I get in a fight, I want to get in there, finish my opponent, and get out as soon as possible, right? Less risk, less chance of injury, less chance I gas out for whatever reason. A lot of dumb stuff can happen in a fight. I always say, like everybody's got a chance to win a fight. It doesn't matter who you're going up against. Just because dumb stuff happens, right? You might not have a high chance, but Joe Blow off the street could be fighting Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson could roll his ankle, and it could be, I'm talking prime Mike Tyson, by the way, but Mike Tyson could roll his ankle, right? Could be something really stupid, things like that happen. I've seen them happen piles of times, where it's just something dumb happens. So there's always a chance of winning, right? So if you're in Mike Tyson's shoes, knowing that you are a million times better than Joe Blow, right? Go in there and finish it off. The sooner you finish, the less chance it is of something dumb happening. I actually was coaching a guy, and it was one of my guys that fought, and he was actually, I wasn't cornering this one, but it was one of the guys I coach. He was in a fight, and he was in a omoplata. It was deep. He was in a whole lot of danger, and this happened to be like a really stormy evening, and he was in a whole lot of danger, and power in the whole basketball arena went out. That's what we were in, a basketball arena, university, and power for the whole place went out, and it was out for a couple minutes. Well, what ended up happening was, like I say, he was in deep trouble. When they reset them, he wasn't in as deep of trouble. The angles were just a hair off. I mean, it still wasn't a bad position for his opponent, but it wasn't near as tight, right? Nothing. You can't set things to exactly the same as they were. And he ended up getting out of it. And I honestly believe if that power hadn't went out, he would have ended up having a tap, or his shoulder would have been destroyed. That's what I'm saying. Like, dumb stuff happens. So the very best submission is the one that's available. Go out there, finish your fights, go home, celebrate. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button for me. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos. I got lots of content coming out, so if you're in the fight game, I'm sure there's something on here that will definitely help you out at some point. Please share this all over social media also. It definitely helps me out, and the more I can get out of this channel, the more I can put back to you all and help everybody else out. So that's the goal there, is to spread the wealth. So we will catch you next time on Mastering MMA with Coach Lee.